Jewish tradition says that they've had 9 red heifers. They believe the 10th one will lead in the ushering in of the Messiah. So they've had 9. They haven't had one since 70 A.D. when Jerusalem was destroyed.
Wow.
So now, when Israel came back together as a nation after World War II in 1948, they've been trying to get a red heifer. Throughout the years, there was a guy so miraculously, there was a red heifer born in northern Israel named Melody years ago. This would be back in the 90s. And they thought, well, hey, God supplied the red heifer. The problem is it has to be a true red heifer. It cannot have any white or black hairs on its body at all. And I mean, they inspect every hair when they inspect them. Well, Melody developed some white hairs on her tail, and they said she disqualified. So it didn't come to fruition. Then later on, there was a guy named Clyde Lott in Mississippi years ago. They were trying to work with the Temple Institute to crossbreed cattle to try to get a true red heifer. It never came to fruition. They couldn't come up with one. So Israel, the Temple Institute said, hey, we'll take the matter into our own hands. They were working with a rancher in Israel to crossbreed cattle to try to get a true red heifer. In 2018, they thought they had 2. And they were constantly checking. They go out just on a weekly basis and check to see. Well, one of them developed, I think, black hairs on her person, and the other one developed a blemish because the calf cannot have, the heifer cannot have any kind of blemish on it at all. Well, the problem is the one developed a blemish and one developed some hairs that were of the wrong color. So what happens? Let's bring it to 2022. There was a friend of mine. His name is Byron Stinson, and he had done a few construction projects over in Israel. He was involved in a $3 million restoration project of in the Kidron Valley between the Temple Mount and the Mount of Olives, that big valley. He did a big restoration act down through there. Well, they knew he was from Texas. And they just offhanded, they said, hey, you're from Texas. You think you can find us a red heifer, the land of cattle? He was like, I'm in construction. What are you talking about? And they said, try to find us a red heifer. So he thought, okay. So he came back to Texas, started sending out emails and flyers and things like that, and had some ranchers contact him and said, I think we've got true red heifers. Well, the project started moving along. They started going out and checking for them. Well, in the meantime, just maybe within the last year, a guy down near, I would say southwest of Dallas, contacted the Temple Institute and said, hey, I've got 5 true red heifers. I know you guys are looking for a red heifer. I've got 5. They sent a rabbi from Dallas down there to check it out, and none of the 5, they all had some hairs that weren't the right color and things like that. However, Byron Stinson's efforts, he had these ranchers contact him. He started going out and looking around, and he thought, man, these look really red. So they had a delegation from Israel come over, rabbis, check the red heifers, and listen at this, Jim. They've now found 21 qualified rabbi-approved red heifers. Oh.